I mean, what was it about this Per Petterson novel that just appealed to you as a storyteller?
It's this sort of engulfing atmosphere of a very tactile nature, of some very sort of deeply and profound truths about what it's like to be a human being, but which is in a context that's not stream of consciousness, but it's a very effortless wandering through different time periods of the character's life.
Yeah, because I mean, the film it's got a sense of nostalgia about it and something very reflective, particularly about when Stellan Skarsgård is sort of looking back over his sort of childhood. I was just wondering, as a person, do you ever look back? Are you one of those people that likes to often think about your past, or are you very much about the here and now?
No, I wouldn't call it nostalgia, actually, because I think, as I just discussed with another journalist just a while ago, that it has also to do with us being able to freely move and think outside of our here and now. We can recall memories just by deciding to do so. I don't think other animals are capable of that, So that's one of the unique qualities of being a human being, and I think all of us, we associate, when we see something, we associate with things that are outside of the here and now. But that being said, you've got to be able to enjoy the here and now, otherwise it's then you're always planning or always being elsewhere. So I'm not somebody who's sitting home and deliberately recalls my childhood to have a specific experience.
Yeah. But I love the way you evoke memories in this, just through brief moments of imagery. I mean, the sound design is essential, isn't it? It's just even just when they're just walking through the kind of the woods or through the grass, you can hear every sound, the birds, the wind. I mean, how important in this movie is the sound? I mean, it felt like, especially on that big screen in that huge auditorium, it felt like a very immersive experience.
Well, thank you. I mean, that was an intention from the beginning. So we started very early. I mean, I think my sound designer, he dragged his family to the holiday in the mountains or in the countryside this year, just to get some specific sounds of cutting grass, etc. It's when you are in nature and you are alive and alert to nature, it's a very vivid and very powerful sensory experience, both for your ear and for your nose and for your taste and for your eyes. So trying to capture that was part of the ambition of this project.
And thanks to filmmakers like you, I get to interview Stellan Skarsgård every year in Berlin, because he always seems to have a movie here. But what is it about him? I mean, obviously, as a person and as an audience member, I mean, I just love his work. But he seems to have this knack of collaborating with people on numerous occasions, which suggests that people just want to work with him more than once. I mean, what is it about him that draws you back into it?
First of all, because he's an exceptional and world-class actor. But obviously there are actors that could be world-class with somebody else and they think I'm a fool, so they wouldn't be, nothing good would come of it. We happen to have a good friendship. We worked together for 25 years. We've done 5 films together, and he's, making films is an exploration of material, of things that are in the character or in the story, and to do that together with somebody who you trust, somebody who you are not afraid to be courageous together with, somebody who eggs you on to be the best version of yourself, and that's what it's like to be with him.
And sort of finally, I'm going to ask a question, obviously, about, because Cold Pursuit is coming out soon, which I saw last week in London and really enjoyed. It must have been a sort of double-edged question, really, because I was wondering about the challenges and what it was like adapting your own work, because that's quite an unusual thing to see a filmmaker remake one of his own movies in another language. And then secondly, obviously, the film is obviously in the press at the moment because of everything that the Liam Neeson interview from last week. And in the press conference yesterday, Stellan was saying, and not specific to Liam in particular, but just that the reaction to this is almost sort of emblematic of an issue in society and people very sort of willing to be quite outraged and how we're policing people's thoughts. And I was wondering what your take on that was.
I think we stated what we needed to state in the press conference yesterday, and I think it pretty much sums it up. I think when to your other question regarding the remake, it's quite simple. It seemed like a good idea to, if everybody in the world was bothered to read Norwegian subtitles on a Norwegian film, it wouldn't be called for. But having a chance to tell this story to another audience in a new cultural context and to work with some wonderful new people and with a great producer, if I'd put up a play in Oslo and somebody saw it and said, would you come to Broadway? Chances are I would have. And it's a little bit like that. And I know for other people it's called a remake, and it rightfully so, it's perfectly okay. But for me it was a new process with new people, and it was just simply a new film. Occasionally you had to revisit a circumstance that you recalled, but basically it was, you're in there with other people trying to make something interesting.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time, Stefan.
Well, thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!